a book called The Deep Blue Sea. As we read, we're going to have a color chart next to us, and every time we see a color, we're going to mark it off on our chart.
The Deep Blue Sea by Audrey Wood. There's the sea, the deep blue sea. There's a rock, a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a tree, a green tree on a red rock in the middle of a deep blue sea. There's a nut, a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a parrot, a purple parrot on a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a butterfly, an orange butterfly on a purple parrot on a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a spot, a black spot on an orange butterfly on a purple parrot on a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. And over them all shines the big yellow sun, until a little white cloud turns dark and gray, which makes the fishies come up to play. Then all the little fishies sing fiddle-dee-dee, it's raining on the rock, in the middle of the sea. The end.
When listening and watching the reading completed by Miss Peyton and the chart completed by Miss Riley, we are able to see that at the end of the book, we were able to find 7 blue, 5 green, 3 purple, 1 black, and 1 yellow. Hi Little Patriots, I'm Antonina and I'm going to be asking you some vocab along with some questions. Our first word we are going to talk about today is sea. The sea is a body of water that is filled with creatures such as fish. The second word we are going to talk about today is authors. An author is the writer of the book. And the third word we are going to talk about today is illustrator. An illustrator is the person who draws the pictures in the book, which are also called illustrations. The fourth word we are going to talk about today is colors. Some colors we see in the book are red, green, brown, yellow, blue. The fifth and final word that I will be talking with you today is observing. Observing is to view, to see. In the book, we see a bunch of colors. When we see the colors that we wrote down in our chart, we mark them down in the chart based on how many we saw in the book. And now I'm going to ask you 4 questions. My first question for you is, what were some objects that you saw in the book? I know I saw a tree, a rock, and a nut that was on the tree. My second question for you is, what were some colors that you saw throughout the book? I saw red, I saw green, and I saw blue. My third question for you is, if you were able to mix the colors that you saw in the book, what colors would you be able to mix and what would they create? I know I would be able to make red and green, which makes brown, red and blue, which makes purple, and blue and yellow, which makes green. My fourth and final question for you is, where would you be able to buy colors if you were able to paint? I know I would be able to buy colors at Walmart, Michael's, and Target. Bye!